whatever we do, change comes. It's coming with the implosion of our Imperium, and it's coming with the rapid degradation of the ecosystem itself. And there's nothing we can do to stop it. It's how we cope with this change. Will we respond rationally? Will we learn to speak to the world with a new humility and recreate structures within our own communities for sustainability? Or will we continue to live in illusion? And in a way, it's a matter of awakening ourselves to our new reality and responding to it.
Oh boy, it's another episode. Woo! I wonder what we're talking about today, man. Is this going out hard with the Israeli man? I got my airstrikes and I'm dropping bombs all night. And if you didn't know, I'm doing it just right tight. So I just said, what's up and how you doing, B? And I'm just sitting here just chilling when I'm healing, B. And if you didn't know about it, what you gonna say? Cause it's some motherfucker and I'm going every fucking day. Got me going down with my beats and cheeks. Got me going with my beats and cheeks. So if you don't know what I'm doing now, proceed. And I'm just feeling like, woo-wee. What's going on? What you going in? How you going down? And what you feeling when you win? I don't really know, but I'm just feeling. Finally a minute when I'm winning it up. It's the time to get in it. And I'm just sitting here going and whipping in it. Yes. Welcome back to the best worst show on the internet. I'm your host, Manuel Chavez III, or the Turd, depending on how you know me. And yeah, this is Griftcast IRL. Oh boy, what are we going to be talking about tonight? And oh yeah, sure, I'm late or whatever. You know this, I just go on live whenever I feel like it, so deal with it. I do. You should too. Yeah, you should too. We do have a little bits of news today. I mean, there's some big stuff happening. The last time we talked about some stuff, more things have happened, and I know what you're thinking. Well, that's just kind of like simple and stupid, Manuel, Defango, whatever your damn name is. And I'm like, yeah, dude, it's a little bit weird. There's some type of weird shit happening right now. Ritualistic something or other. I don't know. But what I do know is that there is something happening, my friend. Well, I don't know. We'll have to take a look at it because there's a lot. There is a lot of people talking about this new one, which I guess I'll just get into because it's probably a better idea to do anyway. We got live happening now. Israel and Hamas have made a deal for hostages and a 4-day ceasefire, and it has been approved. I don't know where it came from. Out of nowhere, people are talking about it, and I mean, I guess it's just, maybe the camel's back is starting to get broken or something like that. I don't know very many things with camels that we could possibly talk about, but yes, the families of hostages met with Netanyahu, and I guess they're going to be getting their families back. Well, I mean, at least that's what they're saying right now. They said the Israel cabinet has approved a ceasefire agreement with the Hamas militant group that would bring a temporary halt to the devastating onslaught being pushed forth by the Israeli military that is now in its 7th week. That means a month and a half for all of you that don't know how months work. The Israeli government has said that under an outline of the deal, Hamas is free at last, or has to free at least 50 of the roughly 240 hostages taken in by the October 7th attack over a 4-day period. Qatar will mediate with Hamas and later confirm the deal, saying that the start time will be announced within the next 24 hours, and it's going to last for 4 days. Even Prime Minister Benjamin Netanyahu said before the cabinet voted early Wednesday that the war would continue even if a deal was reached. So wait a minute. Wait. So are they going to have a ceasefire or not? So even if they have a ceasefire, they're still going to go. So after the ceasefire is over, they're just going to go back to bombing and killing people? Yeah. Goddamn. Gotta love that shit. Oh, and they said in other news, Israel and the United States and Qatar have been negotiating for weeks over a hostage release that would be paired with the temporary ceasefire and the entry of more humanitarian aids. Yep. And, I mean, we know everything else about this thing. It saying people are being used by human shields and stuff. But what I got to say is at least it's good news. You know, a nice little stopgap going on. I don't think that it's going to last very long. I mean, I'd be surprised if it lasts, the full 4 days at least. But there's been a lot of news that's been coming out about this. It's probably one of the more recent things that's been out there. And, I mean, it's all at the same time, like they got this short-term deal that's going to be happening, but really what's that deal going to look like for everybody is the real question. Is it actually going to pan out? Are they going to get more of their hostages back? What is Israel giving up besides not bombing and killing people anymore? Not a lot, it seems, as it were. It seems like they're the ones that are going to be in charge. And, here's a little spot from CBS News.
Well, with Israel's cabinet voting to approve
just
a
to say
deal
that,
with
I'm not the only one
to
saying
release
it.
Some of the hostages taken during the October 7th attack.
That's right. We're going to
At
release
least
some of them
50
hostages.
will be released. Those released on both sides will be mostly women and children. CBS News.
Oh, good.
Foreign
Women and children.
Holly Williams
We
brings
like
us the
women and
latest,
children.
and a warning for you here. Some of what you're about to see is distressing.
Yeah, we should probably not watch the distressing shit because they're going to be doing this. But I have a bunch of videos to actually pull up about that anyways, because if you're looking at what's happening, I mean, this is all happening around Israeli strikes on Lebanon that kill 8, including journalists and 1 Hamas official. It seems like, oh yeah, the ceasefire thing doesn't really seem to be real. It seems kind of ritualistic, like in some kind of way. At the same time, it doesn't seem to have stopped them from doing pretty much anything. And these are 2 Israeli airstrikes in southern Lebanon that killed 8 people, including 2 journalists that work for a Lebanese TV channel and a senior Hamas official. And yeah, they just bombed them. They're like, well, the Hamas officials over there, we're just going to drop a fucking bomb on them. And you know what? Hey, if you get instant casualties, it doesn't matter. They're not people anyway. Remember, we're the Jewish folks. We're the chosen ones. We don't have to believe everybody's equal. You know how that works? Yeah, we've talked about that pretty extensively. So, I mean, the deaths that we're talking about there are these deaths right here in Lebanon. Since the beginning of hostilities along the border, more than 80 people, mostly fighters from Lebanese armed groups called Hezbollah, have been killed. So I guess, if you don't like Hezbollah, then you might be happy about that one. But it's sad that, journalists are actually being killed. Lebanese broadcaster Al Mayadeen said an Israeli strike on Tuesday near the town of Tir Hafa, about a mile from the Israeli border, had killed 2 of its journalists and a 3rd person at the site when they were filming. So, yeah. They don't really care about journalists. They're like, yeah, we don't really give a shit about journalists or Geneva Conventions or whatever. We're just going to, do whatever we want. You guys can't do shit about it. So, I don't know what the hell's happening here, but I mean, they're accusing Israel of deliberately targeting the TV crew because they were known to be pro-Palestinian and pro-Iran's regional military alliance, and they just can't have that. So, hey, man, if you don't want someone to be saying some shit you don't like, it's a war zone. Oops. We were trying to get this other guy. We were trying to get the terrorists, and you guys are just collateral damages. They were using you as human shields, okay? So, yeah, that's what we're really looking at right now. And, I mean, if you thought that Israel isn't being indiscriminate with how they're actually busting out people, several United States service members were injured in a missile attack at the Al-Assad air base in Iraq, which... I mean, I don't know. Is there some connection going on here? I don't know, but let's see. What do we got going on? We got the Israel thing happening. We got the Israel-Palestine thing happening. There's the thing going on with the Ukraine war. And now all of a sudden we got service members that are U.S. service members dying in Iraq or getting injured in Iraq. Well, that doesn't really sound good, no, does it? No, that kind of seems like, well, there might be a ceasefire, but after the ceasefire, we might end up in, I don't know, one of those global conflicts, something like a what do they call those things? World War, maybe? I don't know. It seems like there's just a lot to be talking about here at the particular time, because, I mean, we got updates from at least a few different individuals, but the fact that there's actually a ceasefire going on is... I mean, some interesting news. And I think that it fades into what we're actually seeing right now. So, what it fades into what we're actually seeing right now is that now in the United States, after the attacks at the Iraq air base, I guess, we are now having an intel bulletin that's being put up by individuals saying that there's an increasing terroristic threat to New York State. Uh-oh. What the hell? Terroristic threat? Oh, now there's a terroristic threat? I thought it was always like that.
CBS News has obtained a security alert suggesting an increasing terrorist threat to New York State. The New York State Intelligence Bulletin points to Israeli operations against Hamas, and specifically that the increase in civilian casualties raises the likelihood that violent extremist threat actors will seek to conduct attacks against targets in the West, with New York State being a focus. The alert says possible targets include protests and other public events. Police in New York maintaining a highly visible security presence around potential targets like synagogues.
The Macy's Thanksgiving Day Parade? Fuck you, don't do that.
Thanksgiving Day.
Dude, if they attack the Macy's Thanksgiving Day Parade, I don't know, man. I might have to break the rules and fucking teleport.
Parade is at a high level with the full deployment of thousands of New York City police officers. The intelligence bulletin emphasizes that anti-Palestinian chatter has also been observed on multiple social media channels, with pro-Israeli advocates calling for violence against Palestinians and those who support them. The greatest threat comes from lone actors who take inspiration from violent rhetoric, much of it online. Today, New York's governor called on social media companies to take an aggressive approach to shut them down. Jerika.
Catherine.
Yes, social media companies, we need you to take a proactive approach. So what do we know? Israel's thing, well, they've had some troubles with it, right? Like all of the media that's been putting out has been really losing them their favor in the world. And I mean, I got a shitload of videos to back it up, because I mean, it's just crazy how many of these things that there are.
Go.
How did Hamas airstrike all these vehicles, guys? How did they airstrike all those vehicles like that? And like, they don't even have tanks and shit or drones. It was Hamas? Does Hamas have Apache helicopters and tanks and shit? Because the last time I checked, they didn't have tanks or fucking attack helicopters. But damn, that looks like a fucking attack helicopter and some tanks went down. Like, holy shit, man. The more you look at it, the more it is. And I mean, I like to play these videos because this is the thing that you need to be aware of, because we have to look at the ideology on the sides of the war. We understand what the Palestinian ideology is, but the more that we look at all the sides of things here, and these are videos that I've collected from Reddit, TikTok, Twitter, YouTube, wherever the fuck I can, and I save them because I want people to see them, because the more you understand this stuff, I think the easier it's going to be for people to figure out, where you're going to be on these things. Hey, why is that not playing? I guess they don't want me to let me play that one. They won't let me play that one neither. Won't let me play that one neither. What's that all about? See that shit? What's that all about? Yeah, it's like one of those wait and see type situations, I would have to say. I don't know though. Why's let's see my video. Okay, they're playing now. Cool. I was like, yeah, what the fuck? That's weird. Yeah, look at that. I guess they don't like the videos that I'm saving over on iCloud, so they're making me get rid of them. Let me see if I can refresh the page and get it to play. Well.
I believe that one-state solution as Palestine, or liberate all of the Palestine for all of their citizenship, Muslim, Jewish, Christian, at the same right and same duty.
So that's what the Palestinians are saying. They say that they want a one-state solution where everybody could be equal. Doesn't sound too bad. Israel's obviously horribly dialectically opposed to that.
The attention has been on the war in Gaza. A lot has been happening here in the West Bank. Here's a quick explainer. First up, what actually is the West Bank? Well, it gets its name.
Yeah, what is the West Bank?
West Bank of the River Jordan. It's part of the Palestinian territories occupied by Israel since 1967. Down here is Gaza, which is run by Hamas. But in the West Bank, the Palestinian Authority, or PA, is in charge. Partially, at least. The West Bank is divided into 3 administrative zones. In Area A, the PA controls things like health and education and internal security. In Area B, control is shared by the PA and Israel. In Area C, the biggest zone, is under full Israeli control. In the end, though, Israel is the occupying power across the whole West Bank and sends in forces whenever and wherever it wants. Palestinian land is also carved up by Israeli settlements and roads, a huge separation wall. Palestinians have to go through.
They got a wall?
Often need Israeli travel permits to get around.
They built a wall,
so
huh?
what's happening now? Since October 7th, life has become even tougher for Palestinians in the West Bank. The Israeli military has stepped up raids, arrested around 2,000 people, blocked roads, closed checkpoints. There's also been a spike in attacks on Palestinians by armed Israeli settlers, who are driving entire Palestinian communities off their land. According to UN figures, more than 120 Palestinians have been killed by Israeli soldiers or settlers. 2023 already had the highest death toll in years. If you want to know more, check out our latest episode of Start Here. You can find it on YouTube.
Oh, interesting. Nice little explainer there. I guess, we see one side from the Palestinians, and we got another video from just some random trying to talk about it, but obviously very Palestine-leaning. Now, here's the former Israeli ambassador.
The headquarters of Hamas is under the Al-Shifa hospital in Gaza City. Now, you know what happened a couple of days ago?
Proven by
Hamas had a big
hold on.
Mark, are you going to let me finish?
I can't allow you to. I cannot allow you to say 15 things that are unfactual and not be challenged on them. I'm happy to let you talk, but I'm going to ask clarifying questions.
You're going to tell me what's factual? Mark,
Yes, I spent
5 years of my life studying this, living it. When was the last time? When was the last time you were in Gaza, Mark? When was the last time you were in Gaza?
18 months ago. When was the last time you were in Gaza? When was the last time you were in Gaza?
A few years ago.
Okay, so you said Al-Shifa Hospital has been proven Hamas
a few years
headquarters.
Ago.
What independent reference,
how many?
What source, what investigation has proven that? Who has proven that it's an Al-Shifa hospital since it's been a proven fact? Who proved it?
Who proved it?
So now we're going to get into this basic Holocaust denying idea that evidence that Israel has shown is not valid.
Denying
I mean, is that what you do? Do you deny that people were raped? Are you going to deny stuff?
Everybody that challenges you is not doing Holocaust denial. You said that it's a Hamas headquarters. I simply asked you.
It is.
I simply asked you for evidence of it. I said who, and you immediately equated it to Holocaust denial.
Israel has presented evidence. Ask the CIA. Ask anybody who studies
the CIA,
this.
sir.
What? Yeah, can we ask? Can we ask the CIA who's in charge of all this shit? Is it who did that intelligence come from? That was a Hamas headquarters. That came from Israel, right? Did any third parties like the UN or anybody else verify that? Or are we just supposed to trust you, bro? Yeah, I guess we're supposed to just trust you, bro. And that's a former person from Israel that was in charge that, he couldn't answer the question, so he automatically went to Holocaust. The Holocaust denier. No, we're the victims. We're the ones that are in trouble here. Do you understand how the game is being played right now? Because when you can't answer things, you got to actually change the subject to something that you're going to have a win on. But nobody even gives a shit about that anymore because you're doing the same thing that was done to you and everybody can see it, right? Just keep this in mind. I mean, every time you look at this stuff.
Israel described the Al-Shifa hospital as the main headquarters for Hamas's terrorist activity.
BBC News. This is a BBC.
This IDF animation posted in late October claims to represent a Hamas tunnel system underneath the hospital. But having been inside Al-Shifa since early Wednesday, Israel's yet to produce evidence of the tunnels. It has allowed the BBC and Fox News to film at the hospital, though only locations of Israel's choice.
This is what they found.
Only
Israel
locations
also released its own
of
7-minute
Israel's
video,
choice.
which BBC Verify has analysed. A watch, visible in that video, suggests it was filmed a few hours before the BBC arrived. And this IDF video was posted, then deleted, then reposted, this time without a section referring to an Israeli soldier who'd been held hostage.
I don't know when this was used the last time.
Also in the video,
hey, is that
we see
that
a
MRI
woman with
machine?
an MRI machine.
And if you zoom in and we get some light over here, what you'll be able to see is military equipment.
The BBC was shown the same room. And what we see in the two videos doesn't precisely match. For example,
hey, how come there's
one
more
gun
guns?
in the IDF video, two by the time of the
Got
BBC footage. Israel has told BBC Verify this is because more weaponry and terrorist assets were discovered throughout the day.
And as always, an AK-47.
Israel also says its video is a single shot with no edits. But this appears to be an edit.
Yeah, that's an edit.
We don't know the reasons for that edit, nor how significant it is. The IDF, though, says suggestions it's manipulating the media are incorrect. The IDF video
they're
also
not
shows military
manipulating the
equipment
media?
in other locations, though we can't verify how it came to be there. And what we see in this IDF video doesn't equate to Israel's description of Al-Shifa as an operational command center for Hamas. The US is using a different phrase, saying Al-Shifa was used as a command and control node. That implies a much smaller facility. Israel is adamant this hospital was a command center, but for now, at least, it's either not found supporting evidence or it's not sharing it. Back to you, Sophie.
You see, that's what we were just kind of talking about, which everybody's really getting into their jimmies all rustled about, because most people don't realize that, well, did you know? Here, I'm going to switch to this video right here because I felt like it was going to be a good one to interject right here. The former Israeli PM, Ehud Barak, says that Israel actually built the bunkers under that hotel, by the way, or under that hospital, by the way.
Can I just start by asking you what is your view of whether your government, your military, has done a good enough job of proving their claim that there was a major command center and bunker under Al-Shifa?
Yeah, tell us about that, Mr. Barak.
Tell
us about that, Mr. Barak.
For many years that they have in the bunkers that originally was built by Israeli constructors underneath Shifa were used as a command post of the Hamas and a kind of a junction of several tunnels, part of the system. I don't know to say to what extent it is a major. It's probably not the only kind of command post. Several others are under other hospitals or in other sensitive places.
Other hospitals
but
and
it's
sensitive
for
places.
Sure had been used by
and it's been used by Hamas.
even during this conflict.
When you say it was built by Israeli engineers, did you misspeak?
No, decades ago we were running the place. So we held them. It was many decades ago, probably 4 decades ago, that we helped them to build these bunkers in order to enable more space for the operation of the hospital within the very limited size of this compound.
Okay. All right. Well, that's sort of thrown me a little bit. So these were there for a long time, but you're claiming, or they're claiming, that they're used as a major command center. Anyway, the fact of the matter is that as yet, they have not shown conclusive proof of that.
Yeah, they haven't showed conclusive proof of that. No, yeah, isn't that weird? Wait a minute. Did you know that Israel built all of those things? So Israel knows where all of the bunkers and tunnels are, guys. They're claiming that Hamas is using them. We know Hamas is using them because they've stated that as such. They don't even let people go take shelter down there, and they seem to exist at all of the hospitals and other strategic points, almost like they were allowed to be built for some kind of reasoning in the future, right? Weird, super weird. It gets even weirder because if you think about it, like, they just decided to sign this deal, but I swear to God, I just had a little link up that talked about Israel actually breaking into that bunker, at least finding a bunker down there and breaking into it. So I'm actually looking for that link right now because, yes, here we go. If I go to the Times of Israel, IDF breaches blast door in Hamas tunnel under Gaza's Al-Shifa hospital. Interesting. The WHO Health Ministry accuses the WHO of ignoring terror activities at the medical centers in the Strip. Military says hostage deal won't impact mission toppling Hamas. So wait a minute. Wait. Israel contractors and people connected to Israel allowed them to build tunnels under the hospitals to help interconnect them to make them more efficient. They're no longer being used for that purpose, and apparently Hamas uses them, but if they're being used so much, how come the doors and shit are all locked and they ain't finding anybody down there? Doesn't make a whole lot of sense. I mean, is there images? They only posted 2 images. They breached a blast door at the end of a Hamas tunnel discovered by forces last week under Gaza's Al-Shifa hotel. Wait a minute. How did they discover it if they already knew it was there? That's the real weird question here, is like, they've known that it's there for a long time because they helped to build it. How did they just discover it? It's almost like they just are picking the targets of where they think they would be and then just kind of like writing in the information later. And realize this is that the only people that are even reporting or talking about it is the Times of Israel. Everybody else is actually just focused right now on, I guess, what is it? The armistice, the ceasefire, and the trading of hostages. Yeah, interesting, right? Interesting. So they said, yeah, there was a blast door protecting Hamas. We've seen Hamas terrorists inside the hospital. Looks like they're bringing in somebody that's injured into the hospital. We can't even tell who it is, but looks like a child of some kind. And then, yeah, you got another video of a Hamas pickup truck in Gaza's Al-Shifa hospital on surveillance from October 7th, right? And you just got one truck with some dudes running out that are wearing pants and, you know, definitely don't be looking like they're wearing all that gear that Hamas was wearing. You know, if we go back to the videos of what they found down there, weren't they finding like a bunch of green fatigues and shit? You know, like fucking shawls and like, you know, dudes with like, you know, like the packs on and shit. Yeah, like these guys are literally just wearing jeans, a fucking shirt, some shoes, and they got an AK. So, yeah, I don't know, man. That seems a little bit weird, dude. Maybe this is just fools that are about to hit it. Because, like, the only people that I even see in uniforms or anything are the guys from Israel, and they're always wearing the same shit. So, just kind of seems real strange to me. It's a strange situation. You know, the more I look into this shit, it's crazy. Here's stuff from the years, bro. The years. 2008, 2023. Probably should play that whole video.
הזכות שלי, של אשתי, של הילדים שלי, להסתובב בכבישי יהודה ושומרון, יותר חשוב מזכות התנועה של הערבים. סליחה מוחמד, אבל זו המציאות.
Sorry, Mohammed.
הזכות שלי, של אשתי, של הילדים שלי, להסתובב בכבישי יהודה ושומרון, יותר חשוב מזכות התנועה של הערבים. סליחה מוחמד, אבל זו המציאות.
Sorry. What me and my family do is more important than what you and your family do, because we don't understand equality. Damn. It's fucked up, dude. Some fucked up shit.
You support dismantling of Hamas?
If Hamas has to be dismantled because of what it did on October 7th, then if you take Operation Cast Lead, Operation Pillar of Defense, Operation Protective Edge, then the Israeli government has to be dismantled 10 times over.
Yeah, I follow you, but it's not really an answer to the question.
Oh, it is an answer to the question.
Because
it's called keeping a single standard. You want to talk about the 290 Israeli hostages? I say fine. But then let's talk about the 2,300,000 Gaza hostages. Gaza. Oh yes, Gaza. Hamas is closing the gates. I know that. Gaza is closed. Hamas is
love to open the gates to kill more Jews.
Yes. Okay.
I don't think.
And now,
I understand your point of hypocrisy.
I'm saying,
but it
no.
still doesn't. Whether
I
you
will hold
think
everyone to a single standard.
Why you don't want to let him talk? You mad?
Damn, look at how, dude, look at how mad that they are. I mean, yeah, dude, we can get rid of Hamas without fucking killing civilians and, you know, committing genocide and displacing people from their fucking homes. Yeah. It's just kind of crazy. Kind of crazy. I mean, anybody that could even consider the other side of that, you know, you just got to look at yourself and be like, have I been psyoped like one of those QAnon folks? Yeah. And now all those QAnon folks are probably thinking to themselves right now, oh, yes, I see what happened. I see what's happening here now. I understand the way the game is played.
Where are you from? Why are you doing this? Understand what you are doing.
Americans in Israel are building a fence outside a Palestinian family's home.
Smile. Hey, on camera. Where are you from? Why are you doing this?
Where are you from? Why are you doing this?
You work with a contractor, huh? Yeah.
And it's all recorded, bro. It's all happening live for people to see.
This land isn't yours. Everybody knows this land isn't yours. How long have you guys been here?
How long have you been here?
Well, 12 years.
How long have you been here?
Look at this guy.
So you fenced in this territory because of the car.
It's a parking lot that belongs to us.
It's a parking lot that belongs to us, so we're just gonna fence it in. Fuck you guys. You're not human. Damn.
Bring them home. Bring them home. I'd like to offer another chant. Kill more Palestinian children. Kill more Palestinian children. Kill more Palestinian children. Kill more Palestinian children.
Wow.
Kill more Palestinian children. Kill more Palestinian children. Kill more Palestinian children. 4,000 daughters.
How awful is that? That's awful.
4,000 Palestinian children is not enough. Kill more children. Kill more children.
That's awful. Here's another one. By the way, this this is a video from Israel that shows that, you know, Hasidic Jews, who many people believe to be the Jews that are, you know, like the most in line with like the Jewish belief system and the Torah and how they live their lives, they're protesting all the time about what's happening to the Palestinian people and how it's not Jewish in any way of the matter. And, yeah, they get fucking brutalized by the IDF just as hard as the Palestinians do. Maybe not as hard in some respects because, you know, they're not just straight up murdering them, but they will kick the shit out of them in the street just to point to disperse. This guy's like, what did I do? I didn't do anything. Punching this guy in the face. Get in your house. Yeah, you can really see how you can see all the time how people don't understand or don't have context to this stuff, but the context is pretty, you know, clear to anybody that's watching it. And I mean, it's really funny how this angers interesting people, or how this angers a lot of individuals out there. When you just show, like, you know, this is the collection of everything that's happening. Here's a protest. One of those pro-Palestinian protests that, you know, is probably going to get attacked or something like that. Something that we got to actually worry about, you know what I mean? Here's another one.
Who are the communists fighting for Palestine? The Popular Front for the Liberation of Palestine, or the PFLP, is a Palestinian Marxist-Leninist and revolutionary organization founded after the Six-Day War in 1967. Founded by Palestinian doctor and Christian George Habash, though it operates as secular, meaning religion plays no role in its structure or motive. Its members come from many different backgrounds. Its founding documents from 1967 clearly state no revolutionary party without revolutionary theory, stressing the importance of approaching things from a Marxist-Leninist analysis of the world. The Palestinian struggle is seen as part of the global struggle for socialism. The PFLP joined the Palestine Liberation Organization, or the PLO, in 1968. They advocate for a one-state solution that promotes justice and equality for all, Jews, Muslims, Christians, and others. This includes liberating Jews from Zionism.
Wow, they're trying to liberate the Jews from Zionism? That's not gonna work.
The Abu Ali Mustafa brigades, which fight alongside the Al-Qassam brigades and other factions. Nonetheless, the PFLP is not solely focused on militant struggle. It's intersectional and aligns itself with other leftist movements that strive for a more equitable society. The PFLP unites trade unions, student and women's causes with the fight for a free Palestine. Previously, the PFLP gained notoriety in the 1960s and 70s for hijacking planes to draw attention to their cause.
Oh, they hijacked some planes?
A prominent member of the group was famously involved in several of those, including a TWA flight from Rome to Athens in 1969.
From Rome to
Her face
Athens.
has since become...
Uh-oh, we might be getting some glitches. Yeah, we're getting some glitches. We're getting some glitches for show. Goodbye. Uh-oh, we got some Zionist trolls. We got some Zionist trolls in the chat that are failures. So, you know, moderators, let's go ahead and get rid of those people. We don't need any racists in our chat.
I'm sorry, Mr. Galloway?
You said we. Are you an Israeli?
I am, yes.
I don't debate with Israelis. I've been misled. Sorry.
What? Racism?
I don't recognize Israel, and I don't debate with Israelis.
If I said in a debate that I would not debate with a Pakistani, I would rightly be called a racist. My question for you is, are you a racist?
I'm one of the few people on the left in Britain who travelled the length and breadth of apartheid South Africa as an underground agent of the African National Congress led by Nelson Mandela, then in Pollsmoor Prison in Cape Town.
Yeah, mine's glitching too.
Therefore, The subject of apartheid is particularly important to me. The question of racism is particularly important to me. And in parenthesis, let me tell you this, that throughout the entirety of my time underground in South Africa under apartheid, every house I slept in, every dinner I ate, every car I drove in was provided by Jewish activists of the African National Congress. So Jews don't have to be on the side of apartheid.
No, they
don't
don't
have to be on the side of racism. Jewish
No, they don't.
heroes amongst my blood brotherhood, like Dennis Goldberg, who served 27 years on Robben Island in Pollsmoor prison, but who never was able to touch Mandela and his comrades because they were on one side of the apartheid prison wall, and he and a few other Jewish heroes of the African National Congress were on the other. Dennis Goldberg, Albie Sachs, Joe Slovo, Ruth First. Perhaps you've heard of these people. If you haven't, look them up. But because of my experience in South Africa, because of the decades that I worked against apartheid in South Africa, do you imagine that I would turn up at a university and debate apartheid with a supporter from South Africa of the apartheid system? I'd rather punch him in the face than debate with him. Why? Because apartheid is a racist poison, and I would never debate with any supporter of South African apartheid. Why should I debate with a supporter of Israeli apartheid?
Wow. I mean, George Galloway gets accused of racism because apparently he's against the Israeli apartheid because he saw the South African apartheid and he understands how toxic and not humane it is. So, the more we look at this, the more we understand this, you got to understand this is something that's been going on. And it's not just me saying this stuff. There are much greater men than me that have done much greater things in their lives that are saying the same thing. And you can't get caught up in the bullshit. You got to watch what these people are saying, how they're operating, and you got to understand that they're fighting an ideological war, and they believe in every respect that they could get one over on you just because you're stupid. And you can't let that happen, man. Can't let it happen. That's why it's there, you know? Like, if I have to sit here and watch every single one of these videos 50 times, I will. Because people need to understand that, you know, that this isn't just my personal point of view. There's many points of views, and I try to go all across the spectrum. And the reality here is that while the news media seems to be portraying this thing in one way, it's the people, the collection of people that are going through the internet and scrubbing and pulling out all these videos and posting them. These are the ones that are really making a difference here in this world. Like, honestly, the main thing that you can see here is that these guys are really telling the truth. They're the ones that really understand what's actually happened. This is a crowdsourced investigation, and this is the reality of what it is. I personally would never go fight in this war. I wouldn't want people like my bro to have to go fight in a war like this, and I don't even want to see, you know, American citizens even being attributed to this, because, you know what? We ain't about the genocide. I thought we got over that shit with the Native Americans.
Standard procedure that's gone on since 2005. A truce accord is established. Hamas lives up to it. Israel violates it, never keeps up to it. Finally, Israel escalates its violation. That elicits some kind of Hamas reaction. That's the pretext for the next act of what Israel calls mowing the lawn, another major attack, each one worse than the last. The 51-day war was the worst so far. That's the regular procedure. Then comes the Western propaganda, just following Israeli Hasbara, exactly what you reported. Poor Israel is attacked by rockets. What can they do? They have to defend themselves. It works very nicely.
Yeah, Noam Chomsky. That's another man greater than I, yes. Saying the same thing. It's the same old story that we have. Somebody attacks, somebody does something, everybody points the finger, so-and-so is a victim, Western media gets up, starts spreading propaganda. Only this time, the same people that were, running the propaganda machines behind QAnon and other stuff like that are now out there in the world watching all this shit going down. And do you think that they were going to be quiet about it? No, because they were trained to not be quiet about this stuff, and they were trained to be far more effective than, well, any news media organization out there. And so far, I think that they are. Good job, guys.
We're going to war with Iraq. I said, we're going to war with Iraq. Why? He said, I don't know.
Going to war with Iraq?
I said, well, did they find some information connecting Saddam to Al-Qaeda? He said, no, they just made the decision to go to war with Iraq. We don't know what to do about terrorists, but we've got a good military and we can take down governments. I came back to see him a few weeks later. By that time, we were bombing in Afghanistan. I said, are we still going to war with Iraq? And he said, oh, it's worse than that. He picked up a piece of paper and he said, this is a memo that describes how we're going to take out 7 countries in 5 years, starting with Iraq and then Syria, Lebanon, Libya, Somalia, Sudan, and finishing off Iran. I said, is it classified? He said, yes, sir. I said, well, don't show it to me. And I saw him a year or so ago, and I said, you remember that? He said, sir, I didn't show you that memo. I didn't show it to you.
Show it to you, sir. I didn't show it to you, sir. Yeah. Kind of makes you wonder why we went to war with Afghanistan and Iraq when, well, apparently it was a bunch of Saudis.
Let's make it clear we don't stand for genocide. Talk to whoever you can, okay? Talk to CIR, talk to...
Uh-oh, the healthcare workers are back. Instead of dancing, though, they're talking about Israel or Palestine. How interesting is that?
We want this war to end. We want the killing to stop.
Are these the same ones that were doing the dances and shit during the Rona shit, or what? I don't know. They don't look like it.
Free, free Palestine! Palestine to Mexico! Border walls have got to go! Palestine will be free! Palestine will be free!
Yeah, man. It's really sad, dude. You gotta think that, dude, how many Palestinian lives have been lost? I don't know, 250,000? I don't know. I think I actually have a video that talks about it.
We should really get out of here. Why?
Why?
We're gonna make this place scream.
We're gonna make this place
What does that mean? Completely unlivable. Well, where can I go? Fuck if I know. Head south. Is it safe there? Nope.
Safe?
Well, I'll go west. To the sea? The fuck are you, a dolphin? You gonna swim out of here? I'll get a boat. And evade the Navy?
Yeah, you're
Well,
gonna
then I'll
evade
go
the Navy.
east. To Israel? You think you're getting past that wall? Well, then I'll go north. Please
We'll
see
get you
my
down
last
first.
message. What the fuck? You're trapped. You tell me to leave, but there's nowhere to go. Ain't that something? Well,
Ain't that something?
then I will fight. Terrorist! Yes, this just in. Evil, bloodthirsty terrorists strike again. We're at a war with darkness. Oh my god, it's good versus evil.
Yeah, it's good versus evil, guys. Nope, it ain't good versus evil. They're all in on it. The BBC, Channel 4, Sky, the UN, Red Cross, they're all in it. Doctors and nurses at Al-Shifa, they all know Hamas is in them, and they're all in with Hamas. Everything you've ever been told about Israel, Palestine from this people is a lie.
Is peace possible?
Justice is a prerequisite for peace. In South Africa, when the apartheid system, which we know for a fact Israel is an apartheid state because it has laws like the right of return, which only allow Jewish people to come into the country. And if they would convert, by the way, to Christianity or to Islam, they are stripped from that right, it meets completely the definition of apartheid as per Cornell Law School and according to the UN Convention 1973. It's an apartheid system. And as a prerequisite of an apartheid system, you have to be a racist. If you support that, you're a racist, no doubt about it. So number one, 1973 apartheid law. If black South Africans have been displaced, if they have been displaced by the whites, and then they were trying to come back into their country and they were not allowed, and then you ask them, is peace possible? That's not the question we'd be asking them. We'd be asking them, is justice possible? And that's the question that we're going to be asking, because he can sit there and talk about all these things where the IDF, his son Mendy, is being attacked by, vibrated by the rockets, and he's selling him and his daughter selling vibrators to the public.
Unnecessary thing at the end.
Damn. Yeah.
I don't like sharing this kind of footage, but I feel like it's important.
Oh, yeah. When the Israelis shot the tank, I probably shouldn't show that one.
If you have a hard time watching these things, this is a video.
Hello, I'm Ted Pike, and this is my wife, Lynn. Today,
Huh.
a foreign government, Israel, operates the most powerful lobby in Congress. This is AIPAC, the American Israel Public Affairs Committee.
Wow, I can play both the videos at the same time. I didn't know that.
And gets nearly $5 billion annually. No elected official dares criticize Israel for fear the Jewish lobby will accuse him of anti-Semitism, the kiss
Jewish
of death
lobby?
for any politician. The president also knows what Israel wants, Israel gets. To act otherwise is political suicide. The mass media, founded and controlled primarily by Jews, manipulates the spigot of information.
Uh-oh, that
out of
sounds
which
racist.
America drinks. The message of this contaminated source is, if you criticize Israel, you are anti-Semitic. Be safe. Keep your head down, or you are fair game for being knocked off by the Zionist shooting gallery.
As a result, our president and elected officials are slaves to political
Who's this
correctness
from?
when it comes to Jews and Israel.
Who the fuck is that guy?
They cannot seriously criticize Israel, especially as the source of Mideast strife and terrorism. They cannot suggest an end of aid to Israel. They cannot even protest Zionist control of Congress.
How did such a small group of people, about 15 million worldwide, acquire such staggering leverage? It was not primarily through financial or media control, or even through political or military agreement.
Was it through any of that?
America has become enslaved to Israel because of the strongest of all bonds, religious ones. Theological errors within Bible-Belt Christianity, going back long before modern Israel ever became a state, have made America vulnerable to the most intense Zionist propaganda. Such error has encouraged a love affair between the church and Israel. This has blinded Christians to the atrocities of Israel against the Palestinians.
Wow. How interesting.
More civilians killed in 6 weeks in Gaza than civilians killed in 20 months in the Russia-Ukraine war. More children killed in Gaza than the annual number of children killed across all conflict zones since 2019. More UN workers killed in Gaza than any comparable period in the UN's history. More journalists killed in Gaza than any conflict period since 1992. Hospitals have been bombed. Refugee camps have been bombed. United Nations schools have been bombed. Ambulances bombed. Bakeries bombed. Mosques and churches bombed. Northern Gaza bombed. Gaza City bombed. Khan Yunis bombed. The Rafah border bombed. Almost every inch of the Gaza Strip bombed. Over 11,000 innocent civilians killed. The hopes and dreams and futures of nearly 5,000 Palestinian children ended in mass graves. 2.3 million people fleeing death and destruction, babies dying in incubators, pregnant women having cesareans without anaesthetic. No fuel to power hospitals, no food to feed the living, and searching for clean water being as rare as searching for gold. Make no mistake, this is a humanitarian catastrophe, which is why I urge members to back an immediate ceasefire on all sides and push for the release of hostages. A call which is backed by 120 members of the UN Security Council, backed by 17 UN agencies, backed by the UN General Secretary, backed by the World Health Organization, backed by the World Food Programme, backed by Amnesty International, backed by over 600 leading international NGOs, including Oxfam, Save the Children, Christian Aid, Medical Aid for Palestinians, the International Committee for Refugees, backed by the Pope, backed by the Archbishop of Canterbury, backed by the overwhelming British public, and now backed by President Macron of France. Almost every single international aid agency in the entire world is saying a vital humanitarian aid to reach people cannot be delivered without a ceasefire.
Damn. The more you hear about it, and the more you see these different people from different countries talking about it, the idea is all the same, you know, like, don't get all caught up and twisted in what you thought was going on or whatever. Stay focused on the reality of things and fixing the problems. And, I mean, at a certain point, you know, we're going to have to look at is that, you know, is this something that the American people want to go in on? And, I mean, my whole thing is, fuck no.
At 10,000 dead Palestinians, how many will be enough? I also, one of my colleagues just said all of them. Wow. One of my colleagues said all of them. One of my colleagues also stated that this is going to dry up their fundraising if we vote on this resolution. I also want that, like, that's what we've become in this state.
Oh, we're going to lose our money.
That's what we've become in this
we're
state.
not going to get our
we don't care
APAC
about
money.
Innocent babies that don't even get the opportunity to blow out their first birthday candle.
So she said, how many Gazans have to die? And a state representative, an elected representative, said all of them. All of them.
All of them.
That's a call for the genocide of 2.2 million people, right? It was a Republican called Michelle Saltzman who said that. Now, unlike Rashida Tlaib, so we talked about her on a previous episode, Saltzman has not been censured. So Tlaib said, from the river to the sea, Palestine should be free, or at least she defended or justified other people saying that. And she was censured. She was the third person this century to be censured, which is sort of one step lower than being kicked out of Congress. The only Palestinian American in Congress. She was censured for saying that. Someone in the Florida House of Representatives said that every single Palestinian, 2.2 million of them, should die, and there have been no consequences. Just it's so appalling, right?
Mr. Blacksmith, I've always seen it. I just don't give no fucks no more. Think about that. I don't like Rashida Tlaib, but yeah, dude, wait a minute. The only Palestinian American member of Congress in the history of the world was censured for saying from the river to the sea, Palestine must be free. She got censored. Yet a lady from fucking Florida's Congress could say that she calls for the genocide of 2.3 million people. Kill them all. Nothing happens to her. You know why? Because she's a Republican, and who's on her back? Well, AIPAC is. And she don't want to lose her fundraising, dude. I can't vote on this. I'll lose my fundraising. I stand with Israel. I stand with the genocide.
It also doesn't seem that she is particularly rare when it comes to sort of viewpoints of Republicans.
Penelope, there's literally a video explaining that whole entire situation on the channel. Thanks for letting us know that you didn't watch the video.
On peut pas dire un mot. Mais parce que vous êtes un juif ne peut pas être un colon judée. Un juif, Jésus est né à Nazareth, il était juif. Ça fait 2000 ans que les juifs sont chez eux. Ok, monsieur. Et ce sont les autres qui sont aujourd'hui colons en Judée, en Samarie, en Eretz Israël.
I don't have no idea what those guys were saying. I just wanted to throw it out there that these dudes were talking shit and, you know, kind of basically being like, Macron is standing up to Netanyahu.
And people say, hey, you're violating human rights. And the Israelis say, there's no equivalency between suicide bombings and protecting our security. And the Palestinians say there's no equivalence between suicide bombings and the occupation.
This is the 35th year of a harsh, brutal, and vicious occupation supported unilaterally by the United States, constant terror and atrocities. Suppose Palestinians say, well, we're under terrorist attack for 35 years, therefore we have a right to carry out suicide bombings.
Which is what they say.
Do you accept this? Does anybody accept it?
Nobody accepts it.
All right, then how come everyone accepts the Israeli claim to be doing it, which is a much weaker claim? Because after all, there's no symmetry in the situation. They are the military occupiers. Palestine isn't occupying Israel. And this isn't just started now. It's gone on years ago. I mean...
So does that, in your mind, justify
the
suicide
suicide
bomb?
Of course not. It
Does
doesn't in anybody's mind.
So it invalidates both sides.
Those who defend suicide bombing, and there are very few, have not a leg to stand on. Those who defend the Israeli atrocities, including the U.S. government, most intellectual opinion, a good bit of the West generally, they don't have a leg to stand on either, and they have a much weaker position.
You asked us after September 11, one of your points is we got to look in the mirror, we being America or the West, we got to look in the mirror at our own. Was that a way of saying, look, people like bin Laden are angry at us for good reason?
No,
in other words, is there a way to justify...
That's not what I was saying. The statement of mine that you just quoted is a very conservative statement. In fact, it was articulated by George Bush's favorite philosopher, Jesus Christ, who pointed out, famously, defined the notion hypocrite. A hypocrite is a person who focuses on the other fellow's crimes and refuses to look at his own. That's the definition of hypocrite by George Bush's favorite philosopher. When I repeat that, I'm not taking a radical position. I'm taking a position which is just elementary morality. This is not religion. This is elementary morality. If people cannot rise to the level of applying to ourselves the same standards we apply to others, they have no right to talk about right and wrong or good and evil.
Let's talk.
Yes. If you can't sit on a moral standpoint, it doesn't matter what religion you have or anything like that. If you have no morality, you ain't got no leg to stand on.
And I will say, absolutely 100%, without reservation, I support the right of self-defense without any doubt. I would be involved myself in violent resistance if I were a citizen of Palestine or Iraq or Afghanistan. And if I were a citizen of the United States or Britain and someone from halfway around the world came into my country and started stealing my land and killing my family, guess what? I would defend my country as well. So, I absolutely 100% defend the right of self-defense, and I will never shy away from that. I will not join the long list of embarrassments who condemn terrorism while forgetting to acknowledge that the biggest terrorist on the planet is the United States government.
Hamas doesn't recognize the right of Israel to exist.
You know what that sounds like to me? That sounds like the African National Congress and Nelson Mandela refusing to accept apartheid and recognize apartheid. I say that Israel, if it wants to be a genuine partner in any kind of peace, needs to destroy its whole ideology of Zionism. Zionism that makes other people goyim, who do not deserve to be in the Holy Land. That's the real problem. If Israel will embrace every people, including Palestinians, equally, human rights respected across the board, then I would challenge Hamas to change its charter and say we will acknowledge Israel. But until that time, I see no difference between Nelson Mandela and Hamas in refusing to accept apartheid or the Zionist Israeli state.
Ooh. Yeah. It kind of seems like crazy, if you ask me, how much people are getting into this thing.
Thank you, Mr. Chair. This is actually the first request for the right of reply to what the United States just said. Mr. Chair, the United States does not get to pretend that it stands with the Palestinian civilians in Gaza. It does not get to pretend this when the United States has just approved an additional $14.5 billion military aid package to Israel as Israel pummels Palestinian civilians to the ground, most of them refugees and children. The U.S. is also planning to send $320 million in precision bombs to Israel, according to the Wall Street Journal. Can the United States explain how this is in line with any of its obligations under international humanitarian law and human rights law? Let alone its commitments under the political declaration on explosive weapons in populated areas. It is unsurprising that the stock prices of weapons manufacturers have skyrocketed over the recent period and continue to rise as Israel bombards Gaza. For example, the market value of the biggest U.S. weapons manufacturers increased by over $23 billion after the 7th of October. And it is undeniable that the United States profits from war. Throughout its entire history, there are only 15 years in which the United States has not been at war with another country. Let that sink in. 15 years only in the United States' entire history. But no one, neither Israel nor the United States, nor arms manufacturers should be allowed to profit from the killing or maiming of Palestinian civilians. So no, you do not get to say you stand with Palestinian civilians until you stop sending arms to Israel as it commits genocide. Thank you.
Yeah. You shitty Americans sending precision bombs and shit to Israel so they can bomb Palestinians more. Y'all are dicks, man. You're dicks, man. Dicks.
I wish they will rape you alive. They will film you.
Why don't you get kidnapped by them in Gaza and see if people come and save you? Because we should have a ceasefire and negotiate with terrorists. They're just going to say, oh, you stop bombing us, we'll stop bombing you. Here, take them back. Yeah, they'll just say, here, take them back.
Israel controls whether they have water, whether they have electricity.
No, we generously give them water. We generously give them
electricity. It's their land, my dear.
We're generous.
It's their land.
We're generous.
Take it
it's
from
not
them.
their land. Jesus was a Jew. Do you know that? He was born there. The Jews were there first.
Oh, there were no Palestinians there?
The Old Testament.
Not in our name. Not in our... Jesus was born in Gaza, or was it Jesus born in Bethlehem?
Of course, and I know that there's over 400 Palestinian villages that were destroyed in 1948. What's called the Nakba.
Who was here first?
Indigenous people.
Right. So should we all be kidnapped and tortured, our babies put in an oven because we took it from the Native Americans? No. But yet you're living here. I think we should torture you and your family. Let's cut open your stomach, take out your fetus and throw it in an oven and then smell it while they torture you and cut off your body parts. And rape you, make you naked and drag you through the street.
Jesus Christ.
Yeah, you are fucking so stupid.
I wish they will rape you alive. They will film you, and if your mother be alive, they will send the video for your mother to see how you burn. That's what I wish, and this is if this is okay for you. So I don't know what you made from.
To wish that
it's terrible. It's terrible that people had it.
I know.
People burned alive.
And it's terrible.
The mother watch it on TV, on the video, on the video.
You know what it
They
does?
film it.
It burns people alive.
They didn't. Why don't you go to
You know what
Gaza?
Bob does? It burns people alive.
Why don't you go to Gaza to live there? Why don't you go there? Why don't you go there? It's a concentration camp.
By that.
Let's be very clear. My ass, your ass. You don't know nothing.
Peace and love. Let's all live together.
Let's be very clear.
Damn, white lady, you got fucking told by those ladies. Yeah, man, it seems like some nice people. Just like wishing that upon other people. It's probably easy to wish that upon other people if you think you're better than everyone. Holy shit, bro. Isn't that weird, though? You know, like, all these Jewish people in the United States are even standing up against this stuff. And I'll tell you right now, it always looks like there's far more people that are saying free it, even when it is there. But, you know, we also see the other side of things. And they see the other side of things seems to be a lot more vocal and toxic about stuff. And it's mostly, I think, because they're the minority in that. Yeah, kind of weird when you see it. Look at how I told you I have just tons of videos, dude. Tons of videos. Our remodel neighborhood, before and after. It was got the shit bombed out of it. Damn, bro, all those guys were terrorists? These were all terrorists holding buildings and shit? Oh, that's right, yeah. They just say if you're Palestinian, you're a terrorist. Doesn't matter. Yeah. Kind of crazy, right? It's like night and day, you know? A once thriving metropolis is reduced to basic rubble. Islamic University of Gaza. Oh, wow, they bombed the schools too and shit. That's dope. That's chill. Yeah. This. Lior Nakis performs a concert for Israeli soldiers.
עזה היה שחורה, היה פח זבל. עזה, ישרמוטה. עזה היה בת 1000 זונה. כושלאים עם אמא שלך, עזה. עזה היה בת זונה!
Damn, bro.
We need to talk about Israel's humiliating attempts at propaganda. Because years from now, historians won't only study the horrors of the Gaza genocide, but also how Israel justified bombing hospitals by presenting us with a calendar.
And now we'll show you more evidence.
I will show you more evidence.
There is a list.
There's a list.
This list, in Arabic, this list says we are in an operation. The operation against Israel started in the 7th of October. This is a Guardian list where every terrorist writes his name and every terrorist has his own shift
on there,
guarding the people that were here.
That's a calendar. Those are days of the week. The Israelis have Arabic speakers among them who are well aware that these are days of the week. They keep asking us to condemn Hamas, and to that I say, I condemn Monday and Tuesday and Wednesday and Thursday and Friday and Saturday.
Fuck the week, man. Fuck all those days, man.
This is the behavior of a genocidal army that has zero proof of its claims that Hamas headquarters happen to be located under every hospital in Gaza. If you thought
Oh, right. Wait, remember, those are the hospitals that they helped to build the tunnels.
Wait until you see the diapers and baby bottles. Cue Daniel Hagari.
And look above this. Look above it. It's a baby bottle. It's a baby bottle in a basement. Above a World Health Organization sign. Again, we're in the same basement, and here we see diapers.
Then there was the time, just a few days earlier, when an
diapers?
Israeli lady with bad acting skills pretended to be a nurse in Gaza's El-Shifa hospital.
No way.
To fix a fracture for a 5-year-old boy without morphine because Hamas took it to themselves.
Oh no.
And let's not forget when the Israeli spokesperson to the Arab world, who, by the way, everyone here despises and laughs at, shared this backstage footage of a Lebanese film as proof that Palestinians are faking their injuries with makeup. They even tried to claim they found Hitler's Mein Kampf in a child's bedroom that's also a Hamas headquarters, because everything in Gaza is a Hamas headquarters. All that bombing, but the book somehow made it out unscathed, almost like it's brand new.
That is a little bit weird.
The best part is that Rifat El-Arir, who is a Palestinian writer in Gaza, tweeted out 20 days earlier that this exact thing would happen. That sooner or later, you'd see the Israelis claiming to have found Hitler's books everywhere. So why are they putting out all this easily refutable BS? Well, it turns out when you're committing a genocide, it's actually super hard to justify your atrocities. There's just no amount of propaganda that can counter the countless videos of the suffering of the Palestinians of Gaza. Only a racist who doesn't see Palestinians as humans would accept the carpet bombing of children in their bedrooms, in hospitals, in refugee camps. Only a genocidal sociopath would justify depriving premature Palestinian babies of incubators and oxygen. But the rest of us, we still have our humanity, and we're not falling for it.
Yeah, that's damn right. I got my humanity, and I am not falling for it. I don't know, Mr. Blacksmith. That seems weird. Damn. That's a lot of people in a train station. What's this right here?
We had the number at 1,400 casualties, and now we've revised that down to 1,200 because we understood that we had overestimated. We made a mistake. There were actually bodies that were so badly burnt, we thought they were ours. In the end, apparently, they were Hamas terrorists. When we make a mistake...
When we make a mistake, we admit it, guys.
Let's play a game called Did This Happen in Nazi Germany or Modern Day Israel? Spread fake literature from the minority claiming it was evidence that they want to destroy you.
What happened to the video? Stop working. Oh, it stopped working again. Nice waking up from a nap and going to getting on the street. I know, it's real nice, right? I tell you, I got so many of these videos, bros. So many videos. Oh, that's another protest. I believe that this protest is in Texas.
You have to remember, Jonathan, many of the people who were killed were terrorists. The majority of people who were killed were Hamas terrorists. People are saying this number, 12,000 people were killed. Yes, the Hamas is an army of 40,000 people, and many of them were killed, and good riddance. And again, there are civilians who were hurt, and this is what happens when you have a very dense populated area that is.
This green screen kind of sucks.
You're engaged in a war in a very densely populated area. The best example I can think of is the fighting in Moscow.
Oh, they're going to fight in Moscow now?
The only way in and out is with the Israeli military, and when we go in with them, we have to abide by their restrictions. That means we only film what they allow us to film. We only go where they want us to go.
We only film what they allow us to film. We only go where they want us to go.
Bolivia decidió romper relaciones diplomáticas con el Estado de Israel en el marco de su posición principista de respeto a la vida. Ha tomado la determinación de romper relaciones diplomáticas con el Estado de Israel en repudio y condena a la agresiva y desproporcionada ofensiva militar israelí que se realiza en la Franja de Gaza y la amenaza de la paz y la seguridad internacionales. El Estado plurinacional de Bolivia exige.
Damn, dog, Bolivia cut ties with Israel over this shit? That's crazy, man. That's crazy.
Can y'all say free Palestine?
Yeah.
Tell them to take the safe route. Take the safe route. Okay, now bomb the safe route. Bombing safe route. Tell them to go to the refugee center. Attention Palestinians, go to the refugee center. Now bomb the refugee center. Bombing refugee center? Oh, what? Looks like some of them are getting into ambulances. Bomb the ambulances. Copy, they're on their way to the hospital. Bomb the hospital. Bombing hospital. Okay, now tell them there's an escape route south to Egypt. Attention Palestinians, head south to Egypt. Okay, now bomb the escape route. Figured that. And again. Already on it? And again. What are we going to tell the press? Beheaded babies.
Ah, yes. Beheaded babies. What's he doing? 911. Wow, what a nice guy. Writing on the... I don't even know what they're saying here. Oh, I think this is when they cut him off. Oh, I guess somebody hacked into a broadcast and put some pro-Palestinian stuff. BBC cuts off reporter as soon as he starts talking about the Israel.
It's been white phosphor again used. We filmed.
Very operating and very dangerous.
Here, and I was horrified this morning to.
I was horrified this morning to hear that they were using white phosphorus. Oh no, can't talk about that. That's a war crime.
These posts are papers strictly for civilians and it's now thrown over shippers.
This is the story of letters from the sky. We don't have internet connection, we don't have cellular connections, and how could the Israeli army tell us what to do or where to go via the sky? And the 13th of October, it was the first letter to come off the sky, the paper post, telling people to move, to evacuate their homes, their shelters, to go to the south of Gaza Valley. And the 2nd of November, they started telling people that they need to move to the west of Khan Yunis. They are shrinking the safe area, they are trying to push the people more and more to the borders with Egypt. They're telling people to evacuate the whole 60% of Gaza Strip to go to Khan Yunis and Rafah. To evacuate, that means more than 1,200,000 people will go just in this area. And that means that they're making the safe areas smaller and smaller and smaller.
Yeah, let's just corral them into a smaller place and then we'll send in a bunch of settlers and we'll build them all.
Condemning Hamas or condemning Israel?
Yes.
Completely useless. Completely useless.
Why?
I condemn Hamas, you condemn Israel, interview is over. What happened? Nothing. It is just checkpoints, like morality checkpoints. No, there was like a vibrant Palestinian culture happening over there. And right now they are erasing this culture.
Other people said, well, okay, if you feel that strongly, why aren't you taking in any Palestinians? Why is Egypt not taking Palestinians? Why does the Arab world
Egypt not taking
want
Palestinians?
To constantly attack Israel without actually offering any place to go for the Palestinians? And what do you say to that?
That is exactly what Israel wants. And that is exactly what actually starts Third War III. This is the war solution. These are Palestinians. These are their lands. And then suddenly take them. Why? So they've been basically kicked around from their homes. And now another country should take them? It's like, why don't they just go in Sinai? Why they go? You know what would happen? Those people are going to be pushed in Sinai. And with any population, 2 million people, they are living in refugee camp. What do you think will happen? Unrest. Chaos. And then after a few years, the Western media will come with their cameras like, oh, look at those Arabs. Oh, they're killing each other. Oh, Israel is good that they got rid of them. And then they will go to the West Bank. And suddenly those 3.5 million people push into Jordan. The whole idea, why does Jordan take them? Why does Egypt take them? The same question. Europe has 44 countries. Why don't they take Israel? America has 50 states. Why don't they give them Florida? The whole idea was like, oh, you're Arabs, you're all the same. No, no, no. Because what would happen then? So Israel will move into Jordan? It's like, oh, Saudi, why don't you take the Jordanian? So this is not a solution. This is not a solution. I think that in 3 weeks, Israel morally corrupted the West like no other. I think the West will have a lot of time to recover because for years, the West has been telling us, oh, look, we're liberal. We're all about human rights.
We love human rights.
Adopt our values. And then suddenly, you don't want to even cease. We don't want to even tell Israel to stop. And suddenly we wake up and we found McDonald's are giving free meals to the Israeli because like nothing will make you feel better after killing a bunch of Palestinian kids than a happy meal. Israel is a racist, apartheid country that is projecting this shiny example of secularism and democracy for the people, so people can accept whatever they do because they look at Palestinians as lesser people. This is the whole point. This is the whole point. And I would like to quote Winston Churchill. He had a quote that say, I don't believe that we have made a great wrong to the Red Indians of America or the black people of Australia because they were replaced by a higher race, a stronger race, a more world-wisely race. This is why Queen Rania is criticizing the West. This is why we here said, like, where are your values? Because this is the crux of the problem. It's not Hamas. It's not Palestine.
It
is people looking at us as lesser human beings. And I asked ChatGPT simple questions. Do Israelis deserve to be free? And you know what they tell me? Yes, Israelis deserve the right like any other people. And then I asked the same question, do Palestinians deserve to be free? And you know what they tell me? It is complex.
It is complex. Yeah, dude, did you know ChatGPT loves Israel? I didn't know that shit. Man, we've just been sitting here going through these videos over and over and over again. I mean, I just got to keep pushing it forward, man.
Because it's a convenient response, isn't it? That every time there is an Israeli strike on some sort of facility inside Gaza, you just tell us that Hamas is operating there and that's why you're fighting back. We understand that.
I'm sorry.
The UN here, though, is saying that its facility, the UN, internationally recognised body, the UN says that its facility in Gaza was attacked by your forces overnight and this morning reporting a significant number of deaths. The point is that is in contravention of international humanitarian law, and people need somewhere that is safe to go if you are telling them to evacuate from the north of Gaza.
I have to push back because the insinuation in your question is that Israel takes pleasure at taking potshots at civilian facilities.
That's not what I'm saying. I'm just saying that every response you make to my suggestion that you are targeting people when they are trying to find somewhere safe to go is that you tell me Hamas is operating there. This is a UN facility.
Ben, Hamas has spent the last 16 years embedding itself underneath civilian areas in Gaza, building its headquarters under the hospital, exploiting ambulances, putting its own, our troops have just discovered rocket launchers and weapon silos inside schools, inside classrooms, next to children's bedrooms.
So that justifies attacking those targets, even though there are, as we've seen this morning, babies in the hospital. We've seen that innocent civilians are in the UN facilities.
And we are doing everything we can, going above and beyond our obligations under international law, to get civilians out of harm's way.
Oh, really?
We are fighting Hamas like the world. 86 nations came together to destroy ISIS. Now, I don't remember British troops being on the ground in Mosul and Raqqa, helping to facilitate civilians to get out of harm's way while ISIS terrorists were firing RPGs at them. But that is what our soldiers are doing. We are going above and beyond our obligations under international law to keep civilians safe. Unfortunately, we are dealing with a ruthless enemy that aims to maximize casualties on its own side in order to produce the sorts of images that gain it international sympathy and then would get pressure on Israel to stop defending itself and stop dismantling the terror state that perpetrated the October 7th massacre and is actively planning another one.
Come on. Yeah, we've noticed the British accent. Oh, man. Guys are ruthless.
The conflict here went back into the 90s. So, again, we don't have the information on the ground. It remains to be seen exactly what occurred, but it seems a huge civilian loss of life, or a huge loss of life in this hospital.
Oh, yeah.
So, all right.
You are genocide supporters. You are not welcome here. Genocide supporters. Fuck CNN. Fuck CNN.
That'd be me.
Every innocent life that's being lost is a catastrophe in this war.
When the colonizer
war is
attacks the colonized.
Let's be completely straight about this.
I know that you're not associated with Hamas.
Hamas, when they launched this appalling terror attack on October the 7th.
The name of every person slaughtered in Gaza by Israeli bombings. We paid for this. Dropping to see like this. Holy fuck. Did you know that the list was still that long? I didn't.
The criminals here are not Hamas, not even the Israeli settlers who are killing Palestinians. The criminals are Europeans, us. Every single member of our German society, our French society, our Greek society, our United States society. We have participated in this crime against humanity. over the decades by keeping our mouths shut as long as there is no trouble down there.
Yes.
As long as people are dying outside the reach of cameras. As long as it's Palestinians who die and not the occupiers. So, this incredible tragedy must be converted into an opportunity for us Europeans to wake up.
Yeah, no, they only focus on one, themselves.
Señoría, le voy a pedir que respete a esta ministra y al Gobierno de España porque está fuera de toda duda que nosotras y nosotros y todos los que estamos aquí rechazamos la violencia contra los civiles israelíes. Lo que está en duda, señoría, es si el Partido Popular va a dejar de ser cómplice del Estado genocida de Israel. Eso es lo único que ustedes tienen que aclarar en el día de hoy. Si ustedes rechazan también la violencia contra los niños y las niñas palestinos. Esa es la respuesta que queremos de ustedes. Mire, lo que estamos viendo en Palestina por parte del Estado de Israel es un genocidio, es limpieza étnica, es el intento de exterminio de todo un pueblo. Y esto se produce en un contexto en el que el Estado de Israel lleva décadas haciendo ocupación ilegal de tierras que no le pertenecen, robándoles las casas a los palestinos.
Damn. Is that Spain? Holy shit. They're saying the same shit. This is fucking crazy, bro.
Happened. They present what they say is two Hamas operatives talking about the attack.
بس بقول لك أول مرة بنشوف الصاروخ زي هيك والشظايا هذه فبقول لك تبع الجهاد الصواريخ الجهاد الإسلامي.
Hamas call this an obvious fabrication. Two independent Arab journalists told us the same thing because of the language, accent, dialect, syntax and tone, none of which is, they say, credible. Equally, Israel claims the Islamic Jihad failed missile was fired from here, a cemetery very close to the hospital. But look again at the video of the event. The trajectory of the missile doesn't line up with that location. Too high, too horizontal. Confusingly, the Israelis' presentation also says the missile was fired from a location down in the southwest. It can't be both. Islamic Jihad say it was an Israeli missile and they have the warhead to prove it, but they haven't produced it.
Interesting.
And they decided that it would be wise to establish a separate state in Israel.
And all of the world powers got together, the white world
Berkeley,
powers,
California,
got
October 11th,
and helped all of
Interesting. What's this one?
The Israelis would say, well, look, we are defending ourselves. We are targeting Hamas targets in Gaza. We are trying to put an end to what we believe is a terrorist organization once and for all.
Do you really keep a straight face when you say that? Do you think terrorist organizations embedded in populations who are denied their most basic rights are ended once and for all in a military campaign? Does that happen in history? Can someone credibly tell me that when the leadership of a country says we are cutting off food, electricity, water, all supplies to an entire civilian population, that they're targeting militants? I'm sorry, these kind of lies can't be allowed to pass. And when you tell yourself the lie, it leads to the wrong policy. If anyone told me that what the militants did on the weekend was a legitimate response to years and years of occupation, I would say, no, you're wrong-headed. You've lost sight of humanity and reality. And if anyone tells me that what Israel is doing in Gaza today is a legitimate response to what happened on the weekend, it's exactly the same.
And yet they are saying it, and yet the international community is saying that.
And people need to challenge them on it, because it's a lie, and we're warmongering if we allow them to get away with it.
Do you want to be a warmonger? Because I totally don't want to be a warmonger.
So what brings you here today to support Palestinian rights? We as Jews are embarrassed what's happening there in the state of Israel, in the Jewish name. And what's your message to the people of Palestine? They shouldn't give up the struggle. They should continue to fight and not give up the struggle against the state of Israel, because by the end, Palestine will be free, because this is truth, will succeed by the end. What's your message to the people of Palestine?
They should know it's
we feel very shame what's going on there, especially they're doing everything in our name, in the name of Jews, in the name of the Torah, in the name of God. It's so shameful. We are with you. You have to know. The Zionists are strong. We are weak. But God is on our side. At the end of the day, the Palestinian flag will be on all Palestine, from the river to the sea.
Holy shit! Is that a fucking Hasidic Jew guy saying the river to the sea? I'm telling you, this shit is fucking nuanced as fuck, man. This is crazy shit. Crazy shit, guys. We're getting there. We're almost done. We're almost done. We're almost through all of it. Always remember to smile when you're getting arrested. Always remember to smile, guys.
We have not been listening. The people in power have not been listening.
I come here for a climate demonstration, not a political view.
Calm down.
Calm down.
Calm down.
Calm down. No politics. Nobody gives a fuck about your politics.
No climate justice on occupied land. No climate justice on occupied land.
Yeah, we don't need a political view. Do we need a political view? Palestinian Jews. See, these are the real Jews right here, you know? These guys are cool as fuck, man. And they're funny, usually. Very smart people. If you ever wanted to see what the real chosen people look like, look at these guys. They got a whole outfit and shit, you know, with the thing. I'm not sure what this is all about, but, you know, I like them. Look at all that. That's the kind of stuff that the, you know, Israeli forces don't want you to see, is that, you know, even in Israel and in Palestine, there are Jews that don't stand for this, and they're treated horribly, man. Treated horribly. You know, who's the real Jew? Is it a Jew or is it a Zionist? I don't know. Hamas missiles? 2 explosions at the hospital? What's that? What is that? I don't know what that is. Is that like a spaceship or some shit? Is that a rocket? The object going up, but, you know, nobody intercepted it with the Iron Dome. You know, if it was a Hamas rocket, wouldn't they have gone after it? Whenever Israel sends up their own rockets, they don't shoot down theirs. Players to distract anti-air with man pads.
Damn it.
Yeah, that does actually kind of looks the same. Jet flying away from the explosion. Yeah, you know what? That does definitely look like a jet flying away from an explosion. How do you get one of those hats? I think you have to be Jewish. There's like some they have like a hat place. There's like a thing for the yarmulke or whatever. It's got special construction or whatever. I think that there's some sort of like special stuff on the inside. But then later on, when you're like a older Jewish person, they get you one of them sweet ass hats or whatever, and then you always wear black.
Years have been terrorized, traumatized, and hated, and we dish out love warriors and freedom fighters every generation, which means that we stand in solidarity with anybody who's occupied, anybody who's
so yeah, first you gotta be Jewish, and then you gotta be Hasidic Jewish, and then you can get one.
On Gaza at this moment because a genocidal attack is taking place.
Yeah.
Yep.
10,000 dead and 4,000 precious children.
And 4,000 precious
You're happy to correctly use the most strong and robust language to describe the crimes against humanity of Vladimir Putin, but you will not use the same strength of language when it comes to describing Israel's treatment of the Palestinians, when it is now being documented and detailed by two of the most respected human rights organizations in the world. Anybody who looks honestly at the decades of brutal, inhumane persecution of the Palestinians' successive assaults on Gaza, the annexation of their land and territory, the systematic application of apartheid rules, you don't want to even use the word apartheid. Never mind sanctions. 5 days sanctions against Putin and his thugs, 70 years of oppression by the Palestinians, and it wouldn't be, what was the word you used? It wouldn't be helpful to impose sanctions. Amnesty International are calling for Israel to be referred to the International Criminal Court for crimes against humanity.
I think that they should be too.
Right now, we're gonna make history. We're gonna change how everything is gonna look, and we're gonna do it right.
Yeah, we're gonna
From
do it right.
From the Jordan River to the Middle East, that's all ours. It was promised to us. There's no Palestinian nation. No one wants them, so why we? Because we are good. We finished to be good 3 weeks ago.
I think the bombing is good. I think they should have a lot more of the bombing, the bombarding. I think we can do a lot more inside of Gaza. It's a fight between the good and the bad, the good and the evil.
It's a fight between good and evil, and we're the good guys.
The only innocent people that are in Gaza now are the 229 hostages that were taken. Once they will go back to Israel, we will bomb Shifa Hospital, all the hospitals, all the tunnels, and kill them all. It's about time. The world knows that. There's no argue about that. We are the center of the world now.
Wow. They're the center of the world now, guys. I didn't know that, dude. I didn't know that the fucking center of the world existed all the way in the fuck over there, bro. Holy shit. Center of the world, baby.
أنا رافع راسي فوق إنه كل العالم الظالم اتآمر علينا ومش اتآمر بس بالكلمة لا ببعتوا صواريخ وببعتوا طيارات وببعتوا حامل تناقل طائرات وببعتوا جند وببعتوا كذا وببعتوا جيش وببعتوا استخبارات أوف هالقد غزة قوية أنا أفتخر إني من غزة أفتخر من هذا البلد اللي اتآمرت عليه ورغم كل العالم هذا اتآمر علينا وبساعد وببعت طيارات ودبابات.
Is he sitting on a water jug?
أدوات البطل.
Is that like a water thing?
وأرفع راسي فوق عالي إنه أنا من منطقة في يوم من الأيام كل العالم اتآمر عليها وكل
Oh yeah, that's that Israeli lady that they saved, and then she was all like, yeah, the Israelis treated me very well.
Is this the most racist team in world sports? This is Beitar Jerusalem, a football team in the Israeli Premier League, and among their supporters is Prime Minister Netanyahu and the current Minister for National Security, Ben-Gvir, probably the most far-right figure in government. And they're the only team in the league to have never signed an Arab player, a fact that's celebrated by their fans, whose famous slogan is "Forever Pure." And one of their favourite chants is "Death to Arabs, which they sing everywhere they go, including Netanyahu rallies. And things got really bad in 2013 when the club signed 2 non-Arab Muslim players from Russia, and fans were outraged and even carried out arson attacks on their own team's officers over it. And then when the 2 Muslim players made their debut, they were booed the whole time. And one of the 2, Zaud Sadiev, scored a goal at this match, and in reactions, fans led a mass walkout. Back in 2004, another Muslim player signed for the club and faced a similar reaction. And Dala Ibrahim, a Muslim player from Nigeria, resigned from the club after just 5 games, citing the constant racist abuse from his own fans. And perhaps even more absurd was the case of Ali Mohammed, a Christian player from Niger that signed for Beta in 2019. And fans protested this despite the fact that he was neither Arab nor Muslim. And an official statement from the La Familia Fan Association said,
"After countless inquiries and checks regarding the identity of the player Ali, we hereby announce we have no problem whatsoever with this player since he is a devout Christian. But we do have a problem with his name. We will make sure that his name is changed so that the name Muhammad is not heard at Beitar's Teddy Stadium."
Remember, this isn't some amateur team. It's one of the largest clubs in Israel who regularly play in the Europa League and other international tournaments, and whose most high-profile supporters include the country's most powerful politicians.
Wow. A racist soccer team.
Let's imagine like a little boy called Rami. He lives in Gaza.
He lives in Gaza.
He have a horrible life, but like, it's like, it's not that bad. I know he has a cousin in the West Bank. He's living a good life. He wake up in the morning and he found out that he was kidnapped by 3 settlers. He was burned alive by kerosene and he was forced to drink the kerosene. His name was Muhammad Abu Khudira. And this guy, this Rami is being approached by like, join Hamas, join us, let's go kill Israel. No, I don't want to kill. I'm going to live in Gaza. It's a life.
I'm going to live in Gaza. It's a life.
But 97% of water is not good for human consumption. Half of the population are anemic. Even the is not being treated, and it goes into the shores of Israel. It's like, oh, there was Palestinians. It's horrible.
Yeah.
So, and then he wakes up in the morning. He doesn't think about killing Jews the first thing in the morning. He thinks about being there at 5 o'clock at the first 50 people in the line for bread, because if he doesn't, he will miss the food for his family. And he goes back and he finds a message saying that we are going to bomb your house.
Leave.
So he comes back, he loses his whole family.
Killed his whole family.
Now tell me, what is a proportionate response for that?
I don't know.
There is no proportional response for that. I mean, what was the proportional response that the United States had after 9/11? Did we immediately start invading and doing shit? Yes, we did. We went after all these people. And what did we learn as a society? That shit don't work. And that it only creates suffering and strife. And only the people in charge that are making money on these situations are the ones that care to keep pushing this shit forward. It's hard, man.
America is our own. We will protect America. We will secure America against you animals, against you traitors, against you barbarians. You'll never live again. Because we'll take your head. We'll take your life. Because we are right and you're murderers. Go away. Go away. Go back to where you came from. Go. You are not welcome here. Brooklyn is my town. Fuck off. Fuck off. Go away.
Get your hands off of him. Get your hands off. Who out here? Who out? Get your hands off. You motherfucker. Get your hands off. You Muslim. You Muslim. Get your hands off me.
Nazi. They are against America. These are terrorists. And the Hamas
Gives you real fucking racist vibes, doesn't it? Disgusting, isn't it? Yep. But, that's what we got going on, guys. It's never going to change. That's how they think. It's like, just look at these guys, and then they're the ones that are telling you that, they're saying horrible shit, bro. Horrible shit to people. And they're even saying that they own the United States and shit. Like, honestly, I'm having a fucking real hard time seeing the difference between these guys and Nazis. It sounds the fucking same to me, bro.
Animals! The end of Gaza! The end of Gaza! The end of your people!
Yep.
لا حماية دولية، لا حماية دولية على الإطلاق، ولا حصانة لأي شيء. لا تحمينا هذه الدروع ولا تحمينا هذه القبعات، إنها مجرد شعارات نرتديها فقط، هي لا تحمي أي صحفي على الإطلاق. على الإطلاق لا تحمينا هذه الدروع ولا هذه ما نرتديها فقط، هي شعارات فقط.
مزيد من المشافي مهدد بالتوقف عن العمل
نفقد الأرواح واحدا تلو الآخر بلا أي ثمن، نمضي شهداء فقط مع فرق التوقيت، نحن ننتظر الدور واحدا تلو الآخر.
العملية تتواصل حتى هذه اللحظة ولا زال
زميلنا محمد أبو حطب كان هنا منذ نصف ساعة فقط وغادرنا الآن هو وزوجته وابنه وأخيه.
نحن الآن نقول نودع الزميل، ولكننا سنبقى نحمل كاميراتنا وأقلامنا ونفضح جرائم الاحتلال.
What does that say? At least 28 Palestinian journalists have been killed in Israel by Gaza in the last 28 days. Damn, that's a person a day. Yeah.
Risk facing criminal and civil liabilities for aiding and abetting genocide, war crimes, and crimes against humanity under international law, and may face investigation and prosecution. Do members of the State Department face similar possibility?
Again,
Greg Mokhiber, who just resigned as director of the New York office of the UN High Commissioner for Human Rights, noted that intent, usually the hardest part of genocide to prove, isn't in this case. He wrote in his resignation letter, quote, explicit statements of intent by leaders in the Israeli government and military leave no room for doubt or debate. You claim that you want Israel to make the distinction, but you don't seem to be making the distinction. If I might, I didn't interrupt you. The Center for Constitutional Rights just put out a statement. Legal organizations put members of Congress on notice for complicity on genocide. Quote, please take note, this is a letter that they sent to members of Congress, Center for Constitutional Rights. Please take notice that should you vote in favor of that package, the Biden package for Israel, you risk facing criminal and civil liabilities for aiding and abetting genocide, war crimes, and crimes against humanity under international law, and may face investigation and prosecution. Do members of the State Department face similar possibility?
Again, Sam, as I said, we have the U.S. government has a rigorous process in place for evaluating whether something constitutes genocide, and we have not made that assessment in this case.
But you continue to pretend that the bombing of hospital after hospital, bakery after bakery, university after university, and somehow you keep pretending that, oh, they're just after military people.
Yeah. People in our government are super fucked, guys. Because remember, this ain't America no more. This is Joe Biden and Opoly, and he's the one that's been saying that there's going to be an Israel no matter what, even if we have to make one out there. And You know, nobody in the government or anybody is even thinking about the future on this one. In the next 10 years, you know, while the war is going on, and whoever wins the war, you know, what are they going to have to face for all of this stuff? What are they going to face for allowing the genocide to be happening, participating in the genocide, adding bombs and stuff? Because you know what? Americans aren't on the are not out of the way on this one. You know, we did the same fucking shit in Iraq and Afghanistan, but you know, people are going to try to tell you, oh, well, that was different. No, it really wasn't, right? People were out there, they were fucking looking for the terrorists, doing all that shit. Technically, us as the United States of America showed them the way. And now, you know, we're in this situation where we're basically helping them do all of this. And I mean, there's no way to cut around it. And if somebody tries to tell you something otherwise, they're just not being truthful with themselves or you.
But it is important to remind people that Zionism was a disaster that destroyed a Palestine that would have been different without Zionism. This is so important to remind people how Palestine was before 1948. Palestine, where Muslim, Christians, and Jews coexisted, when coexistence was not a fabricated idea of live and let live, but was a genuine way of living together. One should not idealize it. Of course, it had its tension. It has its moment of crisis. But it was a mosaic of life that, particularly in Palestine, was enabled people to also enjoy what the land had to offer.
But they don't get that anymore. And here's the last video of the day.
حلم أصير دكتورة كبيرة. إني أكون مدرس. أصير مهندس ونعمل بلدنا. أحلم إني أدخل الجامعة. يكون عندي أيباد ويكون يوتيوبر. حلمي تصير عندي سيارة رونالدو. أنا بعرف ألعب كورة. روح حط الكورة فرزي لعب فيها. عن جد؟ والله.
In 2021, they asked the children of Gaza, what's your dream?
دكتورة؟ ليش حابة تصيري دكتورة؟
عشان أعالج الناس.
ليش بدك تعالجي الناس؟
Well, these kids definitely exist.
وأسافر وأحرر القدس وأجيب الناس وأخليها تروح أمريكا تسافر تشم هوا تكيف كل شيء. أنا أكون مهندسة.
ليش؟
Yeah, that's exactly why.
عشان الاحتلال اليهود لما يقصفوا البيوت أروح أبني البيوت وأبني البلد وأعمرها.
Because the New York Times isn't colluding with Hamas to fake shit. They do that with other people, okay?
أو مدينة حلوى وشوكولاتة مارشميلو. أعيش أنا وأطفال غزة بخير والقدس بدلها لنا وغزة انتصرت. ما إنه يقصفوا بيوت وبروش ويخوفونا كده ويطلعوا ناس من بيوتهم. يا رب كنا نضل عايشين.
نرجع الأقصى، نرجع أرضنا، ديوننا، بيتنا، مع بيت جدي القديم نشوف إيش في غادة.
إيش كمان؟
أنا سوي في حلم غادة إن نرجع على الأرض. كل واحد نرجع على أرضنا وخلصنا.
Yeah, children make up nearly half the population of Gaza. It's all of it, dude. I mean, sitting here watching through all of that stuff, does it give you a better idea of what's going on here? I mean, for me, it does, right? We're looking at an occupation. There's no other way of other way of looking at it unless you're just being dishonest with yourself, and that's fine. You're allowed to be dishonest with yourself. Not everything is a psyop. And one thing that people don't seem to understand is that intention has a lot to play here, right? Like, when you look at who's posting what and what people are actually talking about, you realize very quickly that there are talking points. There are people that are just locked in their talking points and just saying those things over and over and over again because it's the only thing that they know. And then you have the other side of the things that really just looks super different. And globally, this is polarizing to basically everyone, right? This is creating a divisionary tactic that has been years in the making. And right now, they're trying to basically resaddle everybody up against the good versus evil trope, while nothing is the same. And, we exist in a world now that is so interconnected that, I mean, we just collected all of those damn videos about all of this damn stuff. And, I mean, we're not being one-sided about what we're picking up and finding. We're just showing you all of the main points that people are trying to make. And I mean, if you are a warmonger, fine. If you agree with some of these Israeli people and their ideology, fine. If you believe in the Palestinian ideologies against this, that's fine. I'm not coming from that angle. I'm going to what's actually good and right, and I'm looking at the moral approach to the situation. I'm not digging into religion here, because religion isn't the thing that is going to fix the situation. Religion is the thing that has just been constantly making it worse. And then that mixed in with the just overall low IQ of a majority of the population, it just makes it so easy for people to get taken in by this type of propaganda. It's no different than the type of stuff that we saw within QAnon, and how people all of a sudden basically got shined onto the idea and saw these things as facts and still do, right? You just have to look at it as that, like, for a system like that, that's only a couple of years, right, of conditioning. A couple of years of social conditioning had that great of an effect. What would you expect 60, 70 years of conditioning to do for a people? Think about that. Gotta think about it. It's like this entire conflict can be summed up very easily, and it's not a difficult thing. People try to tell me, oh, it's difficult, it's nuanced. No, it really isn't. It's very, very simple. All the points are there. It's just the question of if you care to see the truth like most other people do, or if you're just going to do something else, right? You're just going to do something else, bro. And I mean, honestly, so many bad things have been said by bad people in this area. I don't want to be that guy. I want to be the guy that's just saying, hey, man, this is what I've seen. This is what I'm looking at. This is what we got here. And I mean, it's kind of crazy, bro, to think about what these people have done, how much it's gone over. And I mean, shit, dude, I still have even more shit. Like, we talk about Joe Biden.
It is the best $3 billion investment we make. If we look at the Middle East, I think it's about time we stop, those of us who support, as most of us do, Israel in this body, for apologizing for our support for Israel. There's no apology to be made. None. It is the best $3 billion investment we make. Were there not an Israel, the United States of America would have to invent an Israel to protect her interest in the region. The United States would have to go out and invent an Israel.
Yeah, we just have to invent them. Yeah, just invent the Israel. guy, sent the Israeli guy, and then
Okay, go.
I mean,
to my friends in immigration.
Really? Okay, go, yeah.
And to the Egyptian, the Mukhabarat wants your picture.
Okay, yalla, go.
Yeah? You know the Mukhabarat?
Hmm?
The Mukhabarat.
No, I don't know.
You don't know?
I just speak English.
No?
Yeah, go, yalla.
Mukhabarat in Egypt will get your parents.
Go.
Does your
yeah.
father like his fingernails? They'll take them out one by one.
يلا روح منين يلا go.
Why should I go? Why should I go? Tell me why I should go. I'm standing here. I'm an American. I have free, it's a free country. It's not like Egypt. Yeah, smile for me. Did you rape your daughter like Muhammad did?
Hmm?
Did you rape your daughter like Muhammad?
I speak English.
You only speak English?
No English, no.
You don't speak English?
Yes.
All right. Well, that just shows how ignorant you are. Because Muhammad was a rapist. It says in the Hadith, in your holy book.
Who Muhammad?
What?
Who Muhammad?
Muhammad, your prophet. You know who he is.
My prophet?
Yeah. He was a rapist. He raped Aisha. Does it say that in the Hadith or not? You know that?
I don't speak English.
What?
No English.
You don't speak English? What do you speak? What do you speak? You speak Arabic? The language of the Quran? The Holy Quran? That some people use as a toilet? What do you think of that? People who use the Quran as a toilet? Does it bother you? Does it bother you? Tell me the truth.
I don't speak English.
You don't speak English? Ah, that's too bad. That's why you're selling food in a food cart. Because you're ignorant. But you should learn English. It'll help you.
Of course,
when they deport you back to Egypt, and the Mukhabarat wants to interview you for being
Go yalla, because I'm more.
wow. Yeah. That individual has been identified as Stuart Settletz. Settletz was the deputy director and senior political officer of the U.S. State Department for Office of Israel and Palestine Affairs from 1999 to 2003. Yep. There's actually a bunch of different videos of him. An ex-Obama advisor saying that killing 4,000 Palestinian children wasn't enough. And it's really crazy to think that this guy basically visited this dude multiple times.
Enough. It wasn't enough.
Go.
It's not my fault that you pray to a criminal.
Listen, I'm working now. Do I buy something?
No.
Okay, go.
I don't want to go.
I'm born here.
But you're a terrorist. You support terrorism.
Listen, go.
Did you your daughter like Muhammad did?
Hmm?
Did you your daughter like Muhammad?
I speak English.
You only speak English?
No English, no.
You don't speak English?
Yes.
All right. Well, that just shows how ignorant you are. Because Muhammad was a rapist. You speak Arabic, the language of the Quran, the Holy Quran, that some people use as a toilet. What do you think of that? People who use the Quran as a toilet. Does it bother you? Does it bother you? Tell me the truth.
I don't speak English.
You don't.
I don't speak English. I don't speak English. So yeah, this guy has been basically visiting that food truck over and over and over and over again, multiple times, harassing this dude. And obviously, he's a Jewish guy. Obviously, he is basically committing hate crimes, I guess, as if what you would call it, right? And according to the police, they're, aware of the situation. Yeah. New York City police spokesperson said the police are aware of the videos and they're monitoring the situation. And think about that. This is the acting director for national security Council in South Asia's directorate under Obama and was a deputy director, senior political officer in the U.S. State Department Office of Israel and Palestine Affairs from 1999 to 2003. More recently, he served as a foreign affairs chair for the Gotham Government Relations, which announced his new role in a press release in November of 2022. Tuesday afternoon, Gotham announced on Twitter that it cut ties with Sedowitz. Gotham Government Relations has ended all affiliation with Stuart Sedowitz, an individual who hasn't contributed to our work in years. The video of his actions was vile, racist, and beneath the dignity of standards we practice at our firm, says the statement. And they also removed his page from the website. And obviously, neither Gotham nor Sedowitz have responded to any requests for comment in the situation whatsoever. But, I mean, yeah, dog. What a great guy, dude. What a great guy, bro. Great guy. Here's another one. Just trying to sell hot dogs. This dude's just trying to live the American dream, paying fucking way too much to work at some fucking hot dog stall for fucking shitty money. And then he's literally every day being accosted by a Jewish individual who used to work for the government saying the most horrendous things to him. And it just so happens that this guy that's saying all this horrendous things about Arabs was in charge of relations between Israel and Palestine, many years ago, 2004. Hey, wasn't there something that was going on with Netanyahu and all of them at that time?
Why is he here? Whoa.
It could be Jason Goodman's dad. I don't know. This guy's exactly like Jason Goodman in a lot of ways, because Jason Goodman always walks around like he's better than everyone else, and he's always like talking all kinds of shit. I mean, but like literally, Jason Goodman brings the same energy as this cat right here, you know, to the point where he would just be crying about him being Jewish and stuff and being attacked and persecuted and shit. Be like, bro, you are not a victim. You never were a victim. That's why no one likes you. Except for morons, of course. Like, look at this guy. It's like a daily thing for him.
It's not my fault that you pray to a criminal.
Listen, I'm working now, okay? Can you leave, please? Go, please.
You're not working. There's
I'm just
here.
working here, yeah.
There's nobody here. I'm going to put big signs here that say this guy believes in Hamas.
Do you want to buy something?
No, I don't.
Okay, why is he here?
I won't give you a penny of my money.
Listen. Why is he here?
What?
Do you want to buy something?
No.
Okay, go.
I don't want to go. I have a right to stay.
By the way, if you haven't figured out what this guy is doing, this guy is basically trying to get himself assaulted by this other individual so that he can have him arrested and deported. Basically, that's what he's up to right now. You know, I've seen this happen before with other individuals, but, you know, if you haven't picked it up or figured it out yet, that's exactly what he's doing. He's just basically trying to rile the guy up so that he strikes him so that he can call the cops and then claim that he was assaulted and or say that he was a victim of a hate crime. That's what he's trying to do. And then he felt that, you know, since he had all that, you know, juice with his government jobs, that he wouldn't have to worry about anything.
You have no right to be on the side.
So yes, this is a current video from the last couple of weeks.
You have a permit?
Yeah, I have a permit. I have everything. I have a license.
Okay, but you don't have a visa.
I have a passport, my friend. Go.
What do you have?
It's not your business. Go.
Oh, it is my business, because I actually know the guy who owns all these.
I have an American citizen. Do you have it?
American citizen?
Yeah, do you have
He's
it?
an American
How
citizen.
did you become an American citizen?
It's not your business. Go.
Oh, you're right.
I'm born here.
But you're a terrorist.
I'm born here.
Listen, go. I'm not supporting
You're a
something.
terrorist.
No, you support terrorism.
I'm not some.
You
Go.
support
I'm just
killing
working
little
here.
children. You're a terrible person.
You kill children, not me.
What?
Go.
My kids? What about my kids?
You kill children, not me. Go.
I didn't kill children.
Okay, why is he
You
here?
know why? If we killed 4,000 Palestinian kids. You know what? It wasn't enough. It wasn't enough.
Go.
Yeah, I think charges should be filed against this guy for sure. 100%, without a doubt. No question. But, you know, he seems really pleased with himself, doesn't he? You know, oh, yeah, y'all are terrorists. Fucking awful shit. Awful shit. And I mean, think about this, you know. Intense gunfire could be heard near the U.S. Embassy within the International Green Zone in Baghdad, Iraq. That was not that long ago, was it? Apparently, China's most advanced ship, the 980 hull number type 071 landing ship, is on fire. Now, I don't know if this is a recent one or not. I should refresh it. But, yeah, I think that's actually a recent one. Damn, I guess we ain't got to worry about China fucking invading us because they're going to fucking burn to the ground before they ever make it over here. that fucking high that Chinese construction quality, bro. How does a metal boat get on fire? How does a fucking metal boat go up in flames? It's a metal boat. How did this happen? Whatever. Yeah, these are the last little bits. Records reveal Biden had his personal lawyer send FedEx driver to Penn Biden Center to pick up boxes of White House stocks on November 2nd, 2022, a day before November 3rd. The National Archive arrives at the center to retrieve classified White House docs discovered there. Docs with WH from NARA? Yeah. What's this? Must read. Breaking. It's now official. The Biden Blinken do not want Israel to win the war against Hamas as they continue to place more and more onerous conditions on Israel as they plot to carve up Israel, give Judea and Samaria, the West Bank, to the Palestinians, all of whose leaders are terrorists, and Gaza. The Biden-Blinken plan is to destroy Israel, which is the original Obama-Blinken plan. Meanwhile, while Biden-Blinken place crushing demands on Israel, no demands are made of Iran as the administration continues to pour billions of dollars into Iran's war machine without any conditions or limitations. In fact, they continue to attack our armed forces through proxy without consequence. Oh, that's from Mark Levin. That's clearly, you know, crazy shit, propaganda, because didn't we just hear from Biden back in 1986 that, you know, there was always going to be this, and then even more so, Mr. Levin, the West Bank and all of that land that they're currently in is theirs. It doesn't belong to Israel. They already owned it. It was already theirs. It's theirs. Y'all, they keep taking it. So I don't understand what's going on here because, you know, how could they give them $14-something billion to keep bombing and send them more bombs, but they're trying to destroy Israel, even though everything says the opposite. Yeah. It's really easy to spot them propagandists now, you know, like they're kind of really easy to see now, aren't they? Yeah, it's just like super easy to pick it out. Super simple. How to pretend to be indoctrinated enough so you stay out of the re-education camp. Yep. Oh, yeah, the Coast Guard estimated more than 1 million gallons of crude oil spilled off the coast of Louisiana, by the way. Nice. And what is this? Authorities allege Binance allowed bad actors to freely transact on their platform, enabling everything from child sex abuse to narcotics to terrorist financing for ISIS, Al-Qaeda, and Hamas's Al-Qasim brigades. Cool. Oh, the Pentagon failed another audit. Trillions missing. They say the Pentagon is the government's favorite money laundering tool for a reason. It's comical that they even attempt to audit the Pentagon when they know that they're just going to fail miserably. Nice. What's this one?
I want to share something with you guys today. I want to holler. I want to scream. I want to yell. But it won't do any good. Today is gear turn-in day for me. I turn in all the gear that I've collected over the last 4 years of being active duty with the Army, with the 82nd Airborne Division.
82nd Airborne!
2 years ago, my unit deployed to Afghanistan for the Afghanistan withdrawal. We spent a few weeks over there. It was hectic. It was chaotic. It was disgusting. And it made me very disappointed in our government. Today, I'm reminded of how disappointed I am in our government. Go to turn in my gear. They want to charge me $500 to $1,000 for gear that I was ordered to leave in Afghanistan 2 years ago. Because as the last two birds were sitting on the tarmac, ready to leave, there wasn't any room for extra gear or extra weight. Therefore, we were told to leave it. Some lower enlisted dudes, including myself, were like, no, this stuff is expensive. I'm not leaving this. I'm going to get charged for this when it comes time to leave. Don't worry. We're going to catch you on the back end. We'll flipple it. No. It's time to get out of the Army, and they want to charge you for that. Meanwhile, we can continue to give millions of dollars to the Taliban. We can give billions of dollars to Ukraine. We can give billions of dollars to student debt relief. We can give a bunch of stupid stimulus checks. We can cut those to the American people. But we can't cover $500 to $1,000 for a dude that left gear in Afghanistan. For a dude that left gear in a place that you put me to begin with.
And told me to leave.
The government is so stinking backwards right now, man. This administration's last priority is the American people. And inside of the American people, their last priority is their soldiers, their Marines, their airmen, their Navy. It's so messed up, man. I thought today was going to be bittersweet getting out. But I'm just so happy to separate. I'm very, very excited to stop serving my government and just getting started serving my country. It's sad. Today is November 20th. This is the amount they want to hit me with leaving service.
$3,561.26.
But if you wanted to help, I would greatly appreciate it. I'm going to swallow my pride for the sake of my family and post my Venmo in the comments. Thank you so much.
Who's getting banned? Do you believe that shit? I mean, what do you even do at that particular venture at that particular time? I don't know, man. So with that, that's pretty much everything that we've got to go on. What do we know? Well, we know that, number one, there's a ceasefire. Number two, they're trading 50 hostages for 150 hostages. And then, seems like things are going to go right back to how they were, as it were. I mean, people are putting up the pressure like nobody's business, yet now we're just kind of sitting here wondering what we're going to have to do, like, are the American people, you and me and I, are we going to support all of this, or are we just going to say nah? What about the military and stuff? I mean, how much longer is it going to be before, all of a sudden everybody's in a full-scale war? And hell, there's already shit going on in Iraq again, apparently, and they're not really telling us much of anything that's going on over there. I think outside of that, the more that we watch these videos, the more that we look at them, the more that we define it, it's very clear to me that, being supportive of Hamas is definitely not the way to go, for sure. 100%. Being supportive of the Palestinian people and their plight is definitely something that needs to be done, right? But, there's going to be so many consequences for all of that, right? Like, if there's people that are aware of what's been happening, you're going to be fighting against AIPAC. You're going to be fighting against all of the people that are embedded in all of these different areas that are willing to take you down, considering and telling you that you're putting out misinformation, disinformation, or any of the other 9 yards. But that's not what we're doing here at all. We're looking at the situation, and the only way that we can is a righteous Christian. And all I see is just stuff that disgusts me. It was disgusting what Hamas did to start this round, but you know what? It's more disgusting how Israel is handling it, and then trying to turn around and say that they have the right to do this, they have the right to be like this. I'm just never gonna side with that, bro. Sorry. I see propaganda coming out from all sides, but I'm not really caring about the propaganda. I'm caring about the facts and the reality of the situation. And you know what Jesus would do? What would Jesus do? Would Jesus be siding with the Zionists that are committing genocide on people? I don't think so. No, I think he would be sitting straight in front of all of his Jewish brothers and sisters telling them that they need to stop because this is not the way. And then, yeah, he'd probably end up getting fucking crucified for that shit or something, And I guess that's the one thing that I have to look at right now, like if I were Jesus, what would he do? Well, he definitely would be speaking out against all of the hate, the vitriol, the racism, and everything else that's happening. He'd be speaking out against the genocide. He'd be doing the same thing as I'm doing, talking about the videos and trying to elicit to the people that, hey, this is wrong. Two wrongs don't make a right, yo. Two wrongs don't make a right. And I mean, I said the same thing during the invasions back in the day, and my poor brother had to go fight that shit. I probably would have been there too if I didn't have a bad heart, according to the government. But even then, I wouldn't want to be a part of any of this stuff. I just want to be like, that guy, that Jesus guy, and say, hey, yeah, no, this shouldn't be happening. Y'all shouldn't be doing this. There's no justification for any of this stuff. And just sad. Sad. And with that, it's done. It's all over. Bye-bye. I appreciate y'all coming through and sharing some time with us, to understand what at least is going on here, because that's where I'm coming from. And if anybody else tries to call me anti-Semitic or any of the other things, fuck them, dude, because I'm not. I like Jewish people. I like Arab people. Actually, I just like people, right? Even if they suck, still love them, still want to show them the right way. But in this particular area, or maybe at this particular time, maybe it is time. Maybe we do need a Messiah right now. We need somebody that's going to stand up to this tyranny. And I mean, if somebody has to do it single-handedly, then so be it. Either way, thanks a lot. Hit that like button, subscribe, share it with your friends. We'll see you guys again tomorrow. And, well, I mean, that's if this stream stays up or whatever. We don't get another strike on it, but we'll have to actually see what's going on. Happy to be with you guys. Appreciate y'all coming and joining us and sitting through and watching all these videos. And I guess we'll just have to see what happens next. And if it's going to actually make it the 4-day ceasefire. I hope it does. But I live in reality. And everything that reality is showing me right now is that, well, this situation's only going to get worse, right? And we already heard it from the IDF and Netanyahu that as soon as this thing's over, they're going right back to what they were doing because they want that land. They want to have all of it for themselves, and they simply do not care what they have to do to get it. And they will justify their actions with any number of bad arguments and call you anti-Semitic and a Holocaust denier if you speak out against them. Even though a guy like me, I know the Holocaust happened. I remember reading about all of this stuff and seeing it, and it still blows me away beyond no recognition. It just completely blows me away that people that had that kind of shit done to them are now doing it to other people because it just doesn't make any sense. Just don't make any sense. Later, guys. Have a good night. Defango out.